It's Brian Lees to talk about this debate and the political rhetoric. Brian, I think you can offer us a unique perspective on this. You worked for Senator Edward Brooke in the 70s, the first African American to be elected senator, and you saw a lot of this.
Oh, and it was very tough. And you know, people do take things too far. I can remember being with Brooke when people would throw things at him. One time somebody spit at him. Another time someone pushed him. Had nothing to do with anything but the color of his skin. It was absolutely disgusting. When things get personal, that's when it's taken too far. I mean, I've been in races, 4 different races, that 2 of them got very personal. And when people get personal, it starts to turn people off. But more importantly, it can create some problems with other folks, not the person making the rhetoric, saying the thing, but someone else who's just gotten angry. And I hope that if there's one thing that can come out of this, if people take a step back before they think of saying something personal. A lot of this started, though, Dave, around in the height of where it is now, and you and I were talking earlier, the impeachment of Bill Clinton. Because really a lot of that was personal stuff. It wasn't some policy he took. It wasn't a disagreement on policy. It was much more personal, and they were trying to get even more personal and saying he was doing illegal things from a personal standpoint. That's pretty disgusting.
I mean, we go back, I can remember going back to the days of Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill, when Reagan was president, O'Neill Speaker of the House, and they said they could argue over things and everything else, but at the end of the day, they would like to sit down and have a beer together. That doesn't exist on Capitol Hill anymore, or at least doesn't seem it does.
No, and sometimes when you say to folks on Capitol Hill, when have you talked to your counterpart, or when have you done something on the other side of the aisle? Never. I mean, Reagan would have people coming to the White House to watch movies, Democrats and Republicans, having beers, having drinks, having soda, whatever, and bringing their kids or their wives. And it was a different time, and it's gotten really to the point of finger pointing and that when you get into personalities and you think you're better than someone else, they may have a different point of view than you. That's okay. Everybody has a right to that. You can vehemently disagree with that. But when you start to think you're better than someone else, that's when this discourse starts to turn. And I think in the last few elections, people have gone overboard with their personal attacks, gone overboard with that kind of discord, and basically trying to trash their opponent in a way that
this whole negative campaigning.
Right. Well, but even worse than negative campaigning, when the personal stuff comes and then it lets some of these unhinged people come about. I can tell you that in Massachusetts during the gay marriage debate, we had, I mean, it's one thing if you agreed with gay marriage or not, but the people that were around were very frightening. And when people tried to ratchet up that rhetoric, that's when it got a little bit scary.
One more question for you, Brian. We got about 30 seconds. Do you think now, all right, this has slowed down that rhetoric. Will it last, or will 6 months from now we'll be back to the same old, same old?
Well, I hope we're not back to the same old, same old. It is terrible to say that a tragedy of this sort, I think, will help this for a while and make people take a step back and think, I can't be the one to be attacking. I can't be the one to be pointing the finger. Let's disagree on issues, but let's not be the old line disagreeable. And you can be that way. I mean, I like everybody I've ever come in contact with in politics. I don't have to agree with them, but from a standpoint of disliking them, it shouldn't be that way. And so let's hope that this tragedy brings one good thing in American politics, and it's a little less rhetoric and a little less finger pointing.
And some civility. Brian Lees, thanks very much.
Happy to be here.
We'll be right back.